What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CMA Podcast. How is everybody doing? Back again. Guys, do me a favor. Will you do me a favor? Will you go to the comment section and hit a comment, whether you like the episode or not? Just give me some feedback. You have no idea how priceless comments actually are with the algorithm and helping to push and promote the podcast, and also hitting the like button. So I'm just saying it early on, do me a favor, hit me with a comment, hit me with a like, and make sure, please, hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything else. Just that. Like, subscribe, and comment. That's the only thing I want from you guys. And of course, to listen and watch, of course, the obvious. But yeah, here we are. Speaking of social media, the news this week that I'm sure half, if not 75% of the world still does not understand, including me. Elon Musk purchases Twitter. My God. I don't know what to make of it yet, guys. I think I'm going to reserve my right to judge or pass comment at this point with what we know. I'm not going to go down the political route in this conversation, but I've watched a lot of video on people's interpretation as to what this purchase means. It's frightening how stupid the world is. It's frightening how people think just because they can string a few words together that they are intelligent as opposed to sounding intelligent. And I'm aware of the irony. I'm sitting here in front of a microphone and a camera too, but watching people with their uneducated understanding of what's going on and the push of the political agenda and what they think it all means. I mean, people think that he wrote a check for $48 billion and there it is, like you buy a bar of chocolate when you go down to the local store. They're unaware of the loans and the stock and the collateral and everything that goes with a purchase of that magnitude. And everyone's just like, it's a right-wing Donald Trump plot to get him back on to spread hate speech. I'm like, you guys are morons. You got to stop talking. We don't know why that purchase took place. We have no idea. We're all just speculating right now. And I think that's what the world needs. It needs to listen to people like me. Step back, wait, get all the information, then make up your mind. Don't just follow the trend. Everyone thinks they know and understand what's going on. We've no fucking idea. This billionaire has just come in and purchased a social media platform. Why would you do that? There's got to be a reason. We can speculate. But I don't know. Everyone just seems to think they know what's going on. We've no idea. I've no idea. Is it awesome? I think so. Anything that causes this much of a backlash or a reaction. It also gives me an opportunity to push my Twitter, because if it's going to be used in a positive manner, then I'm going to hop on board that train. So I'm going to ask that you guys find me on Twitter. I don't even know my goddamn handle. I set this up years ago and never used it. Yeah, it's the picture. Oh yeah, me with Megadeth VIP and just the heavy metal symbol, hand signal as my profile picture at Dave Heavy Metal. Oh God, I might have been drunk when I set that up. I don't know. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm not going to post much stuff on it at the moment. I'm years ago when I set up my Facebook, or even before that, I set up Bebo And I was told all about these other platforms, and I'm like, nah, I don't have time for any of that. I'm just going to pick one platform and find me there. Right now, I do majority of my posting on at City Martial Arts gym page on Instagram. But yeah, I'll set up my Twitter. I'll try and boost the numbers. If I migrate everything over to Twitter, I might bring the gym page there too. The gym page may already be existing. I don't know. I haven't used Twitter in years. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. Watch me tweet. Have a look at my dinner. Comment on what you think it tastes like. I don't know. But yeah, so Elon Musk purchases Twitter, and I've no idea why. Is it going to be used for good reasons or bad reasons? I have no idea why. Elon Musk seems like a cool dude. He's very, very successful. He's very, very powerful. So let's see what happens. If it's dog shit, I'm going to get off it. But yeah, just watching people lose their minds, and everything is about race, and everything is politicized, and everything is, if you don't agree with it, it's hate speech. And I'm like, well, no, don't agree with that at all. Sorry, morons. But yeah, and to tie this in, my last episode of CMA podcast was with a guy called Tombstone Josh. And, you know, I reached out to so many people over the last number of months to be guests on my podcast, whether it was former training partners, former opponents, people I train with now, famous people, viral people, people on social media, UFC fighters, Stitch from the Cutmen, Chuck Liddell, for God's sakes. He's name dropping. He's actually name dropping now. Yeah, I'm name dropping, but I was very, very successful with a small group of people. Even my brother came on. It was awesome. But it's easy to do a podcast when you've got, you know, the person, you've got time to prepare. You get your list of stuff you want to talk about. In case the conversation doesn't go well, you got a cheat sheet to go to. And if you don't go to it and the conversation works, then it's cool. But I wanted to see how I would fare up in a conversation, a recorded conversation with a guy who I didn't know about a specific topic. And I had a great conversation with this guy, Tombstone Josh, fellow podcaster. Really cool guy. I've no idea who he is or what he's about. I just know he liked music. And I'm like, let's do it. But it just shows that you can sit down and talk to someone about a topic, knowing nothing about them, knowing nothing about their political affiliation, who they represent, what they're about, whether they're a good person or a bad person, and still just get along. I think that's what the world is missing, huh? I don't want this to be like a rant or a save the world podcast, but, you know, we didn't talk about politics. We didn't talk about religion. We didn't talk about anything controversial. We could have, but we just decided to sit down and talk about music. And it ended up being like a pretty cool conversation. So, hey world, sit down, have a beer, talk to a stranger. Don't bring politics and religion into fucking everything. Do you know what I mean? But I thought it was a pretty cool conversation. Go to our last podcast with Tombstone Josh. I had a great conversation with that guy. You know, I would like to do another one of those podcasts, either with Josh or with someone else. Challenge yourself to going outside of your comfort zone. Again, I don't want this to be a motivational podcast either, but it's easy to sit down and prepare for a week to talk to someone. But I didn't know this guy, and I didn't want to know anything about this guy before. And I just wanted to sit down and talk to a stranger about a topic that I knew about. So I challenge you to talk to a stranger. Don't like, obviously at stupid o'clock in the morning out in the city drunk or whatever, but Yeah, it was a cool challenge and I enjoyed it. And I think it was pretty good. But yeah, I want to do a quick word from our sponsors, guys, real quick. All right, guys, we are sponsored by Lucerner Beer. Do me a favor, guys. If you're in the Lucerne area, go get yourself a Lucerner beer. They are delicious. When they're ice cold, they go down really smooth, and you will be satisfied every time you drink a beer. Drink responsibly. Make sure that if you are driving, that you do not have a beer. I cannot stress that enough. If you are going training to the gym, do not have a beer before training. That is an old school way of doing things. Not recommended. But after training, put your feet up, have a beer, be proud of your evening. Have a look at their website and have a look at their brewery. Go to the brewery and Burgenstrasse number 16. They sell all types of stuff there. They give tours at the actual brewery. You get your beer directly from the brewery, which is always awesome. As I said, accessories around the place. You got like the beer mats, the glasses, the t-shirts. It's all there. What I want you to do is take a picture of you drinking the beer anywhere you see fit, as long as it's cool. Hashtag CMA Lucerner Beer on your social media to be in with a shot of getting a free case of beer at the end of the month. Only the best picture will win. Again, hashtag CMA Lucerner Beer to be in with a shot of a free case of the very same beer we've just been discussing. Trust me, guys, if you haven't tasted it, it is delicious. And once again, drink responsibly. All right, guys, we are also sponsored by lolatong.com. Do me a favor, go to their website, have a look at what they can offer you. They've got some really cool items of clothing, some awesome fashion stuff. Right now, my head is cold because well, not now, but I've got my Led Zeppelin hat on. The Lola Tong dad hat never fails when you go out and they ask where you got that. Trust me, it is a real problem, and I have had to flash the wedding ring on many occasions, which is the struggle, and the struggle is real. But listen, that's where we're at right now in life. They also have really cool oversized hoodies. They've got some awesome, cool, comfortable fitting t-shirts. Whether or not you're going out, whether or not you're staying in, cleaning the apartment, going to a cafe for a sandwich, or just going for a spontaneous drink with a friend you haven't seen in 15 years. Depends on how old you are. I don't give a shit. But nonetheless, go to their website, check it out, browse through their items of clothing and accessories. And when you pick your items of clothing, go to checkout. At checkout, the promo code option will appear. CMA for a 10% discount. Once again, lolatong.com. CMA for the promo code at checkout for a 10% discount. Trust me, guys, they are awesome. All right, and we're back with some fight talk. I've not been keeping up to date with the UFC cards. I don't know why. Like on Sunday, I will check out a lot of the fights that happened periodically, but with the oversaturation of the market, it is virtually impossible to stay up to speed with everything that's happening. I talk about this a lot with Bert Green about, I guess, the saturation of the market. Back in the day, when I truly started watching UFC, like, and being fanatical about it, there would be 4, maybe 5 pay-per-views per year, and those were precious. Now there's pretty much one every 2 weeks or one every week, and then there's like a week break or something like that. So again, there's a lot of fighters not getting the amount of promotion needed for me, a busy guy, to tune in on early hours of Sunday morning. I know that there was fights this weekend. Jessica Andrade had a standing head and arm choke. I did see the highlights of that on Instagram, but if you asked me to name any other guy in the fight card, I couldn't do it. But yeah, I missed the UFC, but because the boxing was on in the UK, Wembley Stadium, 94 1,000 people watching it live in the arena. It's not even an arena, it's a stadium, for Christ's sake. I watched the Tyson Fury Dillian Whyte fight. That was awesome. Could you imagine walking in to a stadium full of fans and fighting in front of 94,000 people? Like, I saw the UFCs were the ones that I were at. I think it was 9,000 in the O2 in Dublin, and I think 15,000, maybe 16,000 in the O2 in London. They were the biggest ones that I saw. So it's like 7-8 times that. Jesus, couldn't imagine it. But yeah, Tyson Fury goes in there, and I don't want to say he destroyed Dillian Whyte, but when you look at what happened, he commanded pretty much every round. Tall guy versus the smaller guy. Smaller guy's got to keep his hands up like Mike Tyson. Miss the jabs, get in there on the body, come up top when he's defending the body. Tyson Fury just kept him at bay with the jab, some nice right hands, big hooks to the body, things like that. And then Tyson Fury just ended it with an uppercut from hell. Now, a lot of people in the gyms that I've seen try and land the big uppercut, Mike Tyson style, right? But they forget that type of punch only lands when the guard is out of sync, when you're not tight like this. You know, you got to get your jab going, and you got to get hooks going. You got to separate the arms and get the guy distracted. So you set it up with a couple of jabs. You throw one more jab, and then the uppercut comes from the back of your heels, and the power I think it knocked out one of Dillian Whyte's teeth. Tough to watch, but yeah, he got up and staggered his way to unconsciousness or la la land, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, so what was very confusing about that fight and how it ended was, yeah, Tyson won via TKO or knockout or whatever it was, and then retired in his post-fight interview. But the speculation was that he was going to fight Francis Ngannou from the UFC. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey with understanding how it all works. Tyson Fury is promoted by Bob Arum. Francis Ngannou was promoted by Dana White in the UFC. Francis fought out his contract and won his last fight as champion back in whenever it was, December. The clause in his contract was that he has to wait 12 months to re-sign, or he's got a championship clause. You got to fight again within the next 12 months. He also had a knee injury and he had to go through surgery. So that it's so confusing. Would that prolong the 12 months, another 12 months? Because he's 12 months out with the knee injury and recovery and all that. So Francis Ngannou is a free agent technically after next December. Tyson Fury just retired and then said, I want to fight Francis Ngannou. I guess an exhibition match, 4-ounce gloves, incorporating MMA rules. It's so confusing. I was shocked. I just heard him retire, and then Francis is in the ring and they're talking about all sorts of stupid stuff. So it's very, very, very confusing. Again, like the whole Elon Musk, when you don't know, just shut your mouth. YouTubers, podcasters, people on social media in general, when you don't know, just shut your fucking mouth. I think I'm going to title the podcast today with that beautiful headline. When you don't know, shut the fuck up. Beautiful. That's how I'm going to title these podcasts from now on. So we don't know what's going to happen. Bob Arum and Dana White hate each other. They're not going to co-promote and be business partners. We don't know the contract stipulations with Tyson Fury, or we don't know the contract stipulations with Francis Ngannou. So we don't know. So let's just all shut up and let it unfold, and then we'll talk about it when we do know. How about that? Excellent. I have nothing else to talk about right now because there's so much going on and it's all speculation. I want to avoid the side where I'm getting all the information from the big podcasters in the fight world, and then it's me just regurgitating what they're saying, using it and sounding like it's my opinion, which you guys could see through that in 5 seconds flat. So let's not do that. But as of right now, for City Martial Arts, the future looks incredibly bright. There's a lot that I can't talk about, but us being inside with a boxing ring, with boxing bags hanging off the ceiling, is looking incredibly bright right now. And that's all I'm going to say. Nothing is signed. Nothing is discussed in relation to a date or a time or a price or anything like that. But let's just say that the future, and when I say future, I mean near future, as in summertime, looks incredibly bright. So let's just say that. All right, there's so much I want to say right now, but if anything falls off or if anything doesn't go to plan, then I look like a fucking idiot. So let's just leave it at that. Speaking about looking like a fucking idiot, oh my God. I am not many people know this. I am a huge John Bon Jovi fan. I saw John Bon Jovi 3 times live. And aside from Metallica, he does one of the best live shows in the history of live music. Whether it's with the dancing girls or the backing tracks. I don't think they use backing tracks. I mean backing vocals with the girls. The light show. The sheer volume and numbers on stage, and his voice. He was one of the best live performers out there. John Bon Jovi. Yes. Wearing a fucking Led Zeppelin a Led Zeppelin hat and a Pantera hoodie. I am a John Bon Jovi fan. I know he's a ruthless businessman and tied people into some horrific contracts back in the 90s. He's worth 350, 400 million, I don't know. Owns his own publishing. He's done it all. He is the man. He's done it correctly. Gets his stuff on the radio and makes all his millions every year, and that's fine. So when you have all that success and that's the life you've lived since you were 20, I guess when you hit 60, you don't want to fall off the horse, and you don't want to accept defeat, and you don't want to accept that you can't sing anymore, because that's the life you've known. You've been in the spotlight for 40 years. There's video of the current John Bon Jovi tour, and his voice is shot to shit. It is so bad. It is cringeworthy. He can't hit the high notes. I don't know whether it's he's surrounded by yes men and no one is telling him, or he knows and he just doesn't want to accept the reality of he can't do it anymore. But I was watching a video with my headphones on the couch during the week, and my face was just like really, really disturbed looking. And my wife was next to me and she said, are you watching a decapitation over there? What's going on? And I said, no. And I showed her the video, and it's just like, oh God. I don't want to spend too much time shitting on John Bon Jovi because I'm a huge fan of his, but God, check out one of those videos and you'll know what I'm talking about. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate you listening so far, and long may it continue. Again, as I said, there's not a lot of information that I can give you in relation to the gym and my plans for this podcast, but I want to be as open and honest as possible on this podcast. Within 2 or 3 months, this podcast will be done from the gym. That's the plan. I want to make sure that it's done correctly. I want to make sure that it's done right. I don't want to do it at this bar anymore. These pictures are fucking cool. But this podcast was set up with the idea that it would be done in the gym and we would talk in the gym in real time. It's a gym-based podcast with the background of the ring or in the ring or boxing bags or whatever the fuck. But that's the plan, to get it into the gym. And I think we are very close to doing so. Guys, do me a favor. Again, as I said at the beginning, you have no idea how precious it is to get a like on this platform. A like and a comment generates and pushes the algorithm to get it out to more people. That's all I want. A comment is awesome. Great podcast, Dave. Or Dave, stop shitting on John Bon Jovi. We know him and love him. And we want to have his babies. That would be cool as well. And the subscribe button. I've got almost 140? I want 140 million within the next 2 years. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I wish you guys a pleasant afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Give me some feedback. If you want to be a guest, come be a guest. We'll talk about anything except religion and politics. Have a good one, guys. Rock and roll.